Hey programmers, Alvin here. Right now let's go over LeetCode number 112, the path sum problem. So in this problem, we're going to take in a binary tree as input. And we also have a target sum. What we want to do here is check whether or not we can find a path in this tree that sums up to the target sum. And the constraint here is that we need to have the path start at the root and go down to a leaf. So for example, if I wanted to take the sum of this particular path, highlighted in pink, its sum is 14. You just do the 4 plus the 2 plus the 8, right? That gives you a total sum of 14. Notice that this path starts at the root and ends at a leaf being a node that has no children. Let's look at another path like this one. If we sum up the values here, 4 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2 gives me a sum of 17. And that actually matches the target sum that I'm looking for. So this is why in this example, we should return true because we can find a full path that sums up to the given target. A really important aspect of this problem is that a path you're looking for needs to start at the root and end at a leaf. In other words, if I look at this small path here, it starts at the 4 and just goes to one node, ending at the 13. You'll notice that the sum of this path is 17. However, it doesn't actually end at a leaf. So you wouldn't want to consider any paths like this. This wouldn't be a valid path to consider because it ends at the 13, which is not a leaf. Recall that a leaf is a node that has no further children. So in this example, there are 4 different leaves, right? We have the 8, the 4, the 2, and the -1. All right, so when it comes to the high-level strategy for this one, I think overall, you'll want to implement some sort of a depth-first strategy. You could do this either iteratively or recursively. I'll show you both flavors. Let's start with the iterative solution. So if you want to solve this using a depth-first iterative strategy, then you're going to need to set up your stack. This bar represents the bottom of my stack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the very root of my tree. What I want to do is I want to add an item into the stack that represents this starting node, right? And I'm also going to track another value within that stack item. It'll look like this. In this stack item, the blue 4 represents the actual node that I'm tracking, and the purple value represents the sum so far in this path I'm considering. Because my root is the very first node, the sum so far is just going to be the initial value 4 as well. And so let me run this algorithm. Like any classic depth-first traversal, what you're going to do is you're going to pop the top of the stack. So you're going to remove that item off the top of the stack. What I want to do is I want to, over time, compare the sum in purple to my target sum of 17. I'm going to keep checking until I find some target that matches 17. Right now, my sum is 4, so I keep going. What I need to do is I need to consider the children of this 4 node. So if I look to the left child of 4, that would be the 2 node. I want to add another item onto my stack to represent that. In this stack item, the blue 2 just represents the node, and the 6 actually represents the cumulative sum thus far. To get the 6, what I did was I took the parent sum of 4, and I added this node's value of 2, right? 4 plus 2 gives me 6. So this would be the sum thus far. I also want to make sure I add to the stack the 4's right child, which would be the 13 node. So I add another item on top of that. Again, the blue number is just going to be the identifier for the node. And in purple, I have the sum thus far, right? I just added the value 13 to the parent sum of 4. At this point, I continue my algorithm. I pop the top of my stack, and I'm at this 13 node now. Whenever you pop an item from the stack, it's as if you're considering the path up to that node thus far. So now that I just popped the item for the 13 node, I would be considering this path highlighted in pink. It's going to start at the root and just end at the node that I just popped off. You'll notice my stack item has 17, which would indeed represent the sum of this path thus far. It actually is the case that my target sum matches this stack value. However, this would not be a case that I want to actually consider returning true because I didn't terminate at a leaf yet, right? 13 is not a leaf node. And that's easy to verify by just checking the left and right children of this particular node. We're going to see that this 13 node still has a child, so I don't actually want to return true quite yet. So I continue my algorithm. I need to add the children of this 13 node. So I add a stack frame for the -1. And again, notice that its corresponding sum is 16. Because I did the 17 of the parent plus the value of the current node, which is -1. 17 plus -1 gives me 16. Let me continue from here. So on this next iteration, I pop off that -1 I just added. So I'm at this node over here. We're corresponding to this path, right? And its sum is 16. That doesn't match my target of 17, and there are no children to add, so I'm actually done with this item. At this point, I pop my next item off the stack, which would be the 2, which would actually be over here. Right? And if I do a quick sanity check here, notice that the path I'm looking at is this. Notice that its sum is 6, which makes sense. Obviously, I keep running this algorithm, so I need to add the children of this 2 node. So I add an item for the 8, and I add an item for the 9. Continue this algorithm, pop off the 9. So now I'm over here. Still not matching my target sum, so I add the children. Add the 4, and add the 2. At this point, when I pop my next item, I'm going to be at this 2 node. And what I will notice is the target sum actually matches over here. And if I look at the 2 node I'm at, I see it actually is indeed a leaf node. It has no children. So this would be a valid path. At this point, I could return true. I found some root to leaf path within my tree that matches my target sum. Let's go over the time and space complexity for this one. If we say that n is the number of nodes, the time complexity here is just going to be O of n, just coming from the fact that we have to travel through every node of the tree. The way this works, every node is just added to the stack once and also removed from the stack once. Luckily, because we're using a stack data structure, you could assume that you have an O of 1, a push operation for your stack, in other words, adding an item takes O of 1 time, and also removing an item or popping an item also takes O of 1 time. That's why our total time complexity is just O of n. In a similar way, our space complexity is going to be O of n, just coming from the stack that we use. All right, now let's look at the code. So we'll start here by creating our stack data structure. So for me in Python, I'm just going to use a list, but I'll name it stack as a variable. And what I want to do is I want to initialize this stack with the very first node, or the root node. Like we said on the whiteboard, we're going to store 2 things in every stack item. We're going to store the node itself, as well as the sum thus far in this path. Because the root is just a very initial node here, it's given a value, or sum is going to be just root.val. In other words, I'm going to have a reference to the 5 node over here. I'm also going to have just the number 5 over here as well. Cool. Now from here, let me start my while loop for my algorithm. So I'm going to iterate while my stack is not empty. So I could just say while stack in Python. And what I want to do is perform a basic depth first traversal here. So I'm going to remove the top of my stack. I can do stack.pop. That should return back one of those tuples. I'm going to unpack them. I'll call it my node, as well as my, we'll say, current sum. Cool. Now from here, I do need to consider the children of this node. So I'm going to just check if they exist. And so far, this is just classic depth first traversal. So if node.left is not none, so if I have a left child, then I want to add the left child into my stack. So I can do stack.append. So put on top of the stack, put another tuple of the node itself. And what I want to do is I want to put a running sum as the second value in this tuple. In other words, I want to do like the 4 plus the parent's 5. So I'm going to add the child's value. So node.left.val, add it to the sum I got from the parent, plus current sum. This would have the effect of doing like the 5 from the parent plus the 4 from the left child. Great. I'm going to do something symmetric for the right-hand child. Now from here, I need to work in the logic where I actually check for a hit. In other words, do I actually hit my target sum? And I only need to check that in a particular scenario. So I'm going to actually check maybe if this node I just popped from my stack, if it's a leaf. So I'm going to check if my node has no left child. So if node.left is none and node.right is none. So that means my node has no children, so it's a leaf. And what I want to check is and the current sum that I've calculated to this node, if it's equal to my target sum. That means I found the thing I'm looking for. So I would want to return true here. That kind of begs the question, where do you return false? Well, if you finish your entire while loop and you are done traversing through your tree, if you never find a leaf node whose path sum matches the target, then you can just do a late return false here, like so. This would be your iterative depth first solution. Let's give it. Here looks like I'm getting an error on running the test case. Man, it's a kind of classic edge case. Here they're giving us an empty tree, so I don't even have a single node. Right now, the root I'm given is actually null or none in Python. You could just handle that as a separate case. So if my top level root, if it's none, you can't possibly find any target sum when the tree is empty, so you can return false. And we'll give that a run now. And there we have it. Now let's go over the whiteboard for the depth first recursive version. So we're going to have another tree example here. And the way I'm going to lay this out for you, I think it really helps to understand how the recursion works visually here. And so I'm going to go over the types of return values you're going to use, or the base cases you're going to use within your recursion, and also how you're going to reconstruct your higher level solutions using your sub solutions. So like before, we want to return true or false. Is there some root to leaf path of nodes that sums to 17? So in our top level problem, we're given the root node of 4, and we have the target sum of 17. So if we evaluate this, we are going to move to this left child over here recursively. And how can we shrink our problem size? When we go from the parent node of 4 to the child node of 2, we should be able to reduce the target sum that we're looking for. To me, this subproblem is now looking for a target sum of 13. I got this 13 by just taking the parent's target sum and subtracting the parent's value. In other words, 17 minus 4 gives me 13. So I'm looking for 13 from this point on. We can break things down further. In your next recursive call, you're going to go to this 8 child, and now the target sum you're looking for is 11. And again, I got that by doing the 13 minus the 2. At this point, I kind of reach a base case. We can see that we're at a leaf node, so there are no further children. And our current value is 8, but the target sum I'm looking for is 11. You can't possibly find the 11 from this point because there's nothing left to search through. So here would be a scenario where I do want to return false. So let's keep tracing through this. So when I go back up to this node, I now need to evaluate my right child, which would be the 9 node over here. And again, we already know how to get the next target sum. We just did the 13 from the parent minus the 2 from the parent to get the 11 now. And this logic carries further to this left child over here. Like before, we reach a dead end, right? Our current node's value is 4, but the target sum I'm looking for is 2. I can't possibly have a path that sums up to 2 from this point, so this would also be a case where you return false. So you need to evaluate further. So now I go down to this node. Again, doing the same logic, I got this yellow 2 by doing the parent's 11 minus the parent's 9, right? That gives me 2. And here's actually a really nice scenario. We did just hit a leaf node, but it's actually the case that the value of the node matches the target sum we're looking for. And so this is a case where we can perfectly return true. Logically, what we're able to do is actually find the path that sums up to our initial thing we were looking for, our initial 17. And we did that by breaking down this problem into subproblems. Notice that we were able to shrink our target sum until we found it trivially. Here I have that path highlighted in green. At this point, you would want this value to return true. And you're probably wondering, how does this actually work in the context of the code? Well, when you implement this, every time you hit a leaf node, more or less, you're going to have that act as a base case, right? So I said that this scenario is going to be true. Those previous scenarios, those other leaf nodes, they should return false. In a similar way, that leaf node on the right, you can imagine it's also going to return false because it doesn't work out. And the way this evaluates is every parent node or every parent call here is going to consider the children calls. And if either of them are true, then it's also going to return true. In other words, if I'm at this 9 node, it's going to consider its 2 child calls, the false and also the true result. It's going to take the true result, right? Now I evaluate at this 2 node over here. It's going to consider both of its child results. It's going to choose the one that's true and just return that up as well. Let's look at this 13 node over here. This is a really important case because it's asymmetric, right? We know that 13 has a right child, but it doesn't have a left child. 13's left is null. So whenever you have a null child, you want to also treat that as a base case, and it should return false. Like before, this call is going to return true only if at least one of its children are true. Because they're both false here, this 13 is just going to ultimately return false. Now I can finally evaluate at the root node 4. Because it has at least one true child, it's going to return true. And that's how you would get your final answer in that top level call. So the time complexity of this one is just going to be O of n, because we're going to make a recursive call for every node of the tree. We're only going to do one call for every node. Space complexity here is also going to be O of n, because we're going to have to use the recursive call stack. So in our iterative flavor, right, we created the explicit call stack, like the stack data structure. When you actually implement depth first recursively, you do use an underlying stack. That would be the built-in call stack, right? Your programming language of choice to track these recursive function calls, it uses the call stack under the hood. So although you might not see it in the code, this does consume space. All right, let's hop into the code. All right, now let's go over the recursive version. The recursive version will end up being depth first, because we know that depth first uses a stack data structure. Whenever you evaluate any recursive code, under the hood, you're going to use the recursive call stack. So I'm going to start with the base case. I'm going to check if my root node, or the node I'm at right now, if it's none. So if root is none, what should I return? Well, in the context of the whiteboard, what we said is we generally want to return a Boolean, right? Determining whether or not the sum exists as a path within our tree. So if you think about it, think of this as its own input. So if the root is none, it means your tree is empty. You can't possibly find your target sum path in an empty tree. So you want to always return false over here, right? So that'll be a nice initial base case. So if I want to form the recursion here, but I know I'm going to make recursive calls on my left and right children. So I'm going to call hasPathSum on root.left. And how should I actually pass in the next target sum? Well, what we said was, based on the problem, I just need to subtract this node's value from the target sum. I can say target sum minus root.val. Right? So the way that this works is, let's say right now, my root is 5. That means I'm calling recursively on my left child. So I'm starting a call, and I'm passing in this 4 node over here. The next sum is going to be my target sum, which in this example down here is like 22. I'm going to do 22 minus 5, right? That'll give me 17, and that gets passed in as my next hasPathSum target sum. Cool. I'm going to do something symmetric for the right child, right? All the same. And we have to think about how we need to combine these subsolutions. So I'm going to get a Boolean result from my left. I'm also going to get a Boolean result from my right. If either of them are true, I'm going to return true. And you can actually evaluate that logic, but just using OR. So if one of these is true, or even if both of them are true, I'm going to return true. On the flip side, if both of them are false, then I'm going to return false. Cool. There is a final thing we need to do in this code, right? And here's a little trick. Whenever you have a function or method that deals with a Boolean return value, there's a really quick way to spot if you have like complete logic. So in my Boolean code over here, I'm returning a bool. Right now, I can only see a way to return false, right? I have this base case that literally returns false. There's not a single statement in this code that gives me a way to return the literal value true. So I need to fix that, right? So how do we know when we have successfully found our target sum? We found a valid path. Well, what you want to do is you want to find that at a leaf node. So if I go down here, I'm going to check if my root.left is none and root.right is none. This would only evaluate to true if the root node is a leaf, right? It has no children. Great. Now from there, I also want to check and my target sum actually matches the value within the root, right? So if I do target sum equals root.val, just like we said in the whiteboard, that would mean that we found our path. And so we want to return true. Cool. And quick little spot check here. This would be the correct way to write this code. The incorrect way would be like this, right? Without even running the code, I could just immediately smell that this code is not correct because I have the check in the wrong order, right? And what if I have the case where my root is none? Well, then you're going to check none.left and, Python's going to complain about that. So you do want to check this first. You need to have the assumption that the root is not none before you even get over here. Cool. So with that, let's give this a submission. And there we have it.